Hi dears, welcome to my channel. This is Priya Karnagaran. Hope you all are doing good. And in this class, we're gonna discuss about doctrine of legitimate expectations. So let's get right into the video. The doctrine of legitimate expectation. It was first developed in English law as a ground of judicial review in administrative law to protect a procedural or substantive interest when a public authority resigns from a representation made to a person. A legitimate expectation is said to arise as a result of promise, representation, practice, or policy made, adapted, or announced by or behalf of the government or a public authority. This doctrine pertains to the relationship between an individual and a public authority. According to this doctrine, the public authority can be made accountable in lieu of legitimate expectation. A person may have a reasonable or legitimate expectation of being treated in a certain way by the administrative authority owing to some consistent practice in the past or an express promise made by the concerned authority. And then, origin of doctrine of legitimate expectations. The doctrine is not a specific legal right engraved in a particular statute or a rule book. The first time an attempt was made to establish the principles of doctrine were in the case of Council of Civil Service Union and others versus Minister for the Civil Service in 1985. And then, origin and development of doctrine of legitimate expectation in India. The doctrine of legitimate expectation was firstly discussed in the Indian arena in the case of State of Kerala versus K.G. Madhavan Pillai in 1988. Herein, a sanction was issued for the respondent to open a new aided school and to upgrade the existing school. However, an order was issued 15 days later to keep the previous sanction in abeyance. This order was challenged by the respondent in the lieu of violation of principle of natural justice. The Supreme Court ruled that the sanction had entitled the respondent with legitimate expectation and the second order violated principle of natural justice. The Supreme Court elaborated on the nature of doctrine of legitimate expectation in the case Food Corporation of India versus Kamadhenu Cattle Feed Industry in 1993. In that, a duty to act fairly on the part of public authorities entitles every citizen to have a legitimate expectation to be treated in a fair manner, and it is imperative to give due importance to such expectation in order to satisfy the requirement of non-arbitrariness in state action, or otherwise it may amount to abuse of power. The court further made a remarkable point that such reasonable or legitimate expectation may not be directly enforceable legal right, but failure in taking into account may deem a decision arbitrary. To decide whether an expectation is legitimate one is contextual and has to be decided on a case-by-case basis. And then, origin and development of doctrine of legitimate expectation in English law. The court discusses that how the doctrine of legitimate expectation first stepped in English law in the case of Schmidt versus Secretary of State for Home Affairs in 1969, wherein it was observed that a foreigner who had been given leave to enter the United Kingdom had a legitimate expectation of being allowed to stay for the allowed time. And then, circumstances for the formation of legitimate expectation. Circumstances which may lead to formation of legitimate expectation were postulated in Madras City Wine Merchant versus State of Tamil Nadu in 1994, namely, if there was some explicit promise or representation made by the administrative body that such a promise was clear and unambiguous, the existence of consistent practice in the past which the person can reasonably expect to operate in the same way. And I conclude by saying that the doctrine has undoubtedly gained significance in the Indian courts, giving locus standi to persons who may or may not have a direct legal right. The doctrine of legitimate expectation very well leads to procedural right, that is, right to judicial review in India, but the substantive aspect of doctrine can be said to be in a budding stage. There has been hesitation among the academicians as to whether the doctrine should apply to substantive rights at all. It has been argued that application of doctrine of substantive rights might result in failure of separation of powers and would qualify as overstepping of judiciary's powers. And that's it, dears. Thank you. Hope you all understand the topic that we have discussed in this class. If it was useful, give thumbs up to this video, and most of you have not yet subscribed, so please subscribe to my channel and tap the bell icon. Then only you will get a notification while I am uploading the other concepts.